for later. Okay, well, I'm gonna make this video. If that's okay with you. Take up the entire couch, you know that. This couch is supposed to seat 3 people. Big as well. What's up, guys? Just doing a quick update on everything in general. Arlo's doing well, as you can see. Maybe not. I can't really fit him in frame. Aren't you, you big lug? You're doing good. We got going on. Just want to show you the Outer Rim lab these days and what I got going on, because I haven't been showing anything. I've been dead to the world, basically. I don't know, everything here is pretty much, you know, it's inching away along, progressing. Like, things are pretty much the same. The man cave factor is going up a little bit in here. Every anime wall scroll at a time. It's like becoming a shrine to adult onset virginity in here. But I don't know, I've been getting things done a little bit here and there, I guess. The baubles and a lot of like weird just LED ornaments and you know, weird stuff, not so much as sabers lately, just because I haven't had the time. But I've been glad I got a few of these baubles, illuminated baubles, done and out to people in the last couple months, so that's been good. What else? The on deck circle, pretty much the same stuff as always. It's been in there, but it's all coming along. The gash on the Kylo one is almost done. The brass slug is for the insert that goes in there. Stuff's coming along over here anyway. Not nearly anywhere near as fast as I would want it to, though. Everything's the same on the parts cabinets, pretty much. You could tell I'm progressing, though, because, like, if you look at, like, what's in them, you can tell I'm leveling up. Like, you know, it's actually a decent, you know, a respectable stockpile of, like, more real stuff anymore. You're actually starting to see, you know, like, I got different, you know, each type of capacitor, transistors, you know, all different resistors. Starting to get into, you can, you know, here's some 555 timers. Some more actual, like, chips, and ICs, and I don't know, you can just kind of tell, you know, I am progressing anyway. A lot of like weird, like, you know, I'm into more like the clockmaker, prop building type stuff, you know, like I'm more from the weird eclectic side of it. This is gonna be Arlo Saber here. It's hollowed out. It's an antler, but I had to put it into 2 pieces just to get that done. Anyway, everything's pretty much the same here. Here's a little like an example. This is the kind of stuff I've been doing lately. I gotta be careful. It's gonna get too hot for TV. But just bizarre, more like art projects, I guess. This is gonna be a lamp when I'm done with it. I can't really show you that on YouTube, can I? Without a bunch of people crying about it. Still a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of like stuff with small tubes and rods. Everything over here is pretty much the same. Thought I liked anime. Ooh. There's in here's a lot of electronic stuff that I have on the go. Of course, you're not gonna be able to see from the lighting, but you can tell I'm getting more advanced, working on building some actual circuits. There's one with a 555 timer. It's supposed to oscillate those two LEDs, the triangle LEDs you see on the left, blink, alternate the blinking of them. So I'm starting to get into some more real stuff. Yeah, it runs off a 9-volt supply. But yeah. Anyway, that's not really the point of this video, now that I've killed 5 minutes. What I really want to show you is this. So I built my own benchtop power supply. I was eyeballing, I've been needing a benchtop power supply for so long. So I did it hilarious, or, well, I guess that's giving myself too much credit, but tried to be funny about it anyway. I needed one of the, everyone needs a benchtop power supply. It's just you need it for a million things. And I've been eyeballing them for a long time. I had almost pulled the trigger a bunch of times. I'll just give you a look at this while I'm rambling on. I almost pulled the trigger on one recently. A guy had it up on eBay. He was from relatively nearby in Ontario. It was about $1,000. It would have been all said and done. But it was only, it was like an intermediate, like a pretty low duty, like home gamer benchtop supply. Like it was, I think, 0 to 12 volts and 3 amps. And for $1,700, which is not unfair. That's it's respectable for something used, but just for that kind of money, I was like, man, like any more for what you're really getting with one of these things. Anyway, let me see if I can mount this camera so it's not so shaky. But for what you're really getting with a benchtop power supply, it's just, I don't know, I didn't want to drop that much until I'm getting something a little more advanced even that I can justify it. But let me show you this anyway. So for what I need, this is plenty. It's gonna do it. So basically, let's see if I can get this in a little better. So turn it on here. It's got a couple of displays. The display on the output is just a USB reader that I just hacked on. But it measures the current and the voltage right at the output. The output's a little USB output there on the front. And then the display over here on the main module, it can toggle between, so right now, like, so there, that's the voltage being fed into the step down module. It could just, you can have it display the voltage that's coming in, or you can have it display the voltage is feeding out. And then the reader over here just gives you a little more accurate, showing you what's getting lost along the way in terms of voltage. And then it's going to read the current at the output. So pretty straightforward, but that's all I need. A couple of nice little copper buttons there, a nice little brass knurl here to set the voltage. The output here, you can see I'm just turning that up, and you can see how that works. So you notice a little bit gets lost here. There's about a 0.3 voltage drop. So it's kind of handy to be able to see that. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was quite a cool little, it's tiny compared to what a benchtop power supply would be. This big, 1990s computer size thing sitting on my bench. Well, this is kind of nice. It's the size of an old iPhone. And, yeah, it's kind of slick looking, actually. The iSupply 1.0. The switch kills it here. And it's just super handy for all kinds of stuff. I just used it just 2 seconds ago to test some LEDs. So, you can use this to calculate component values, all kinds of stuff. It's handy for when you need power at a certain, well, you guys know what you use these for. But yeah, I was actually pretty pumped about that though. That was kind of nifty. Let's see if I can. I'll post a link in the description for anyone who actually wants to get like a decent like visual of this. I have like a posting on Imager up that you can look at. I'll put that in the description. But I don't want this to turn into a huge video. I just wanted to show you, you know, some of the stuff that's been going on lately. And a nice little novelty item though. It's kind of cool. It's just a 0 to 30 volt step down module, but I just hooked up a 12 volt dongle because realistically, a couple of amps at 20, 30 volts going through something like this, I don't know, you probably can't see. I'll fix that right now. I'll show you. But going through something like this, these modules are notorious, right? These step down modules, like they're cheap. And they're the core of what most of these power supplies are. And if you look at what you actually got in there, you probably can't see because of the glare, but no heat sinking really. I mean the chip there, it's got a heat sink on it, but it's pretty small, and just for the voltage that would be dropped across like on this thing at a couple amps, I think, I don't know, 20, 30 volts, I think that's a little bit wishful thinking for something like this. But, you know what, though? This is I almost forgot to mention this. Glad you know, for a beginner, there's no need to drop $1,000 on a benchtop power supply. When you can end up with something like this for, I mean, that module there was $5. This, what, the USB reader here was $5. The most expensive part of this entire thing was this illuminated switch, which is not necessary. I mean, you could put any switch here, or not even have a switch and just plug it in for that matter when you need to use it. But that was like, you know, $10 or whatever, 10, $15. So I mean, compared to dropping $1,000, 25, $30 to end up with something like this, that is literally the exact same thing. 0 to 12 volts. Oh, sorry, instead of 3 amps, it's only 2 amps. But, you know what I mean? Like, $30 or $1,000. Like, yeah. And, you know, for someone like me, that's all I need. And that's Canadian. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Like, in real money, that's what, $10 US, $8, you know, 8 pounds. So, you know, $25 Canadian. Like, that's, you know, what's that? I had that on me. Look, that's almost $25 Canadian right there. So, you know, I still say this is the way to go. But, yeah, pretty cool, right? But yeah, anyway, thanks for checking it out, guys, and hopefully I can keep you updated a little more often these days. Looks like I might actually be kind of starting to get back to normal again. See you. You sleepyhead.